Once upon a time, 150 years ago, lived a widow in Chengdu, Sichuan. She made a living by cooking from a makeshift roadside kitchen. Villagers lined up for her one specialty, a dish that was rich, hot, and hearty, one that would etch her name, or at least her story, in gastronomy history. Mapo tofu. With fans around the world, many variations of mapo tofu exist, all nice in their own rights, but I wanted to honor its roots and created the most authentic version possible of this signature Chinese dish. You'll need fresh tofu. Any brand works, but the firm variety will keep its shape better in cooking. I used a whole container of this traditional tofu. You'll definitely have leftovers. Ground beef or lamb. Not much is needed, maybe half a pound, up to you. Skip or replace with mushrooms if you don't eat meat. Oil, I only had canola, but if you can find cai zi you, it'll be more authentic. Now, the secret sauce, chili bean paste or douban. Here, the brand matters. Look for broad bean paste from the town of Pixian, Sichuan. If you can't take spice, this one from Taiwan is a good alternative with non-GMO beans. Extra chili pepper if you like it hot. I do. Ginger and garlic. For toppings, you'll need prickly ash or Sichuan peppercorn for that tongue-numbing kick. Cornstarch and a little water. 2 or 3 stalks of green onions washed and ready to be cut. Finally, a bit of salt just in case, and sugar, usually necessary to balance out the flavors at the end. You'll also need some water during cooking. Transfer to a large bowl. Don't forget to admire how cute and even your tofu is. Next, add a little salt to the boiled water, stir, and then pour all over the tofu. Next step, prepare your garlic, ginger, and green onions, the golden trio of ingredients for most Chinese dishes. Mince them or chop them roughly and set aside. Okay, now let's unwrap the star of the show, doubanjiang or broad chili bean paste. They seem to have a website. Let's take a look. I'm very curious. It's just the first letters of pinyin. Oh. It's loading forever. I guess the servers in China. Oh, here we are. They have English. Or not. Error, page not found. What do we have here? 一场舌尖上的味觉盛宴. This translates to something like a great sensory feast to tantalize the tip of your tongue. Let's see what the internet community has to say. There's only 7,200 results. I think this needs to be made more popular. The Unrivaled Guide to Pixian Doubanjiang. Pixian Doubanjiang is named after the town of Pixian in Sichuan, China. It's a bright, thick paste fermented from only broad beans, fresh chili peppers, wheat flour, and salt. It is indigenous to the unique natural environment of the town. About half of Sichuan foods are cooked with doubanjiang. Its importance to Sichuan food is like ketchup to Americans. After being peeled and boiled, broad beans are first fermented for over 6 months with wheat flour. Around the end of July, fresh Argentine chili peppers, similar to cayenne peppers, are carefully selected and chopped in big chunks. After adding salt and water, the mixture is then naturally fermented outside in the sun for at least another 3 months to impart flavors. Once matured, the original pixiandoban is simply packaged in plastic wrappers to sell without adding anything else, no preservatives. You can continue its fermentation process at home to make your own aged version. Once stir-fried in oil, pixiandobanjiao imparts its brownish red color and deep complex umami flavor to anything it touches, making it the soul of Sichuan cooking. Curious mind satisfied? Let's continue cooking. Transfer sauce to a mason jar to keep. Indulge often in the smell. Crush some peppercorns. I recommend first toasting them on low heat to extract more flavor. We're now ready to stir fry. Heat the pan on medium to low heat and then pour some oil to cook the meat. How much oil, you may ask? I don't really know. I go by feel. It's not really an exact science. Test a small piece of meat. If it sizzles, then it's ready to go. Break up the meat so there's no more pink. You want to take your time with it, at least a few minutes. You don't want it to be too charred right away. Having it very well done in the end is usual. Scoop it out of the oil once it's done. Now we can start making the sauce, that fragrant red oil. Add a little more oil to the pan if necessary, then add about 1/3 cup of bean paste. Fry until oil turns red. It will sizzle a lot and start smelling really nice. Toss in garlic and ginger and keep stirring. Add some high-quality chili flakes. The douban itself is not that spicy, and your sauce is almost done. We can finally add the tofu to its red oil bath. Then add just enough water to not submerge the tofu. Push the tofu into the sauce ever so gently, or they may break. You want to take good care of them. While you wait for the sauce to boil, prepare the cornstarch slurry by mixing 3 parts cornstarch to 2 parts water. Give the broth a little taste. You will probably want to add 1 or 2 tablespoons of sugar and maybe some salt too. Now here's a key step. Add cornstarch slurry in 3 parts, about 30 seconds apart. First third goes in, stir gently, wait 30 seconds, and then repeat. The very last step before turning off the heat is to add the green onions. Combine gently into the tofu mixture. You're finally ready to plate and serve. Sprinkle on the ground numbing peppercorn and garnish with some more spring onions for a pop of green. Enjoy it while it's hot. You deserved it. See you next time. 谢谢收看。